way. You got me running. Shake it, baby. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Good evening again, and welcome to the After Dark Adult Relationship Show. This is your host, Yvonne Michelle. I'm here again for another tasty, another empowering, another information-filled show this evening for you. And this week, again, we are moving through our sex series. We're nearly at the end of it, guys. We're nearly at the end, but we have got a few more shows to go. And so this evening, we are going to be looking at the aspects of pain versus pleasure. We're also going to be looking at male sex toys and really discussing why it is that men feel that it's a taboo subject for them. Women tend to just have many toys and we're openly talking about it and discussing it with our girlfriends, but it's different for men. So we're going to be discussing that this evening. So I want you to get onto your social media and I want you to share this with all your friends, all your family that you think would be interested. And even if you don't think they're interested, let them decide of whether or not they want to join in the show. Now, do remember you can put your comments on Facebook and you can put your comments on YouTube as well. So this is a fully interactive show. So we're going to get started. So I'm going to introduce the panel, and we have a special featured guest in the studio this evening, and we are going to be talking open and candidly about lots and lots of things to do with sex. So who should I bring on first? So we can have our resident panel members. So let's bring in Michelle and Herbie. Hi guys. It's so good to have you here, have you back with us. And we wanted to bring you on as a couple to discuss this issue, because we know that, you know, those of you who've been watching the show over a period of time would know that Herbie and Michelle have been married for like maybe 37 years or known each other that long. I know you've been married for a long time. Is it 34 years? You're on mute. Do you want to unmute yourselves?
Yes, 34, nearly 35.
Wow. Okay. So that is such an achievement. We don't really hear of young couples achieving those figures nowadays. So we've got our resident couple here today to discuss the toys as well. And so let's bring in, we've got Karen. Is Karen here?
Hello. Hi.
Hey, Karen. How you doing?
I am here. Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Are you looking forward to today's show, Karen?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay. Let's bring in Tony. Hey, Tony.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Hey, thank you. As you know, Tony's here near enough every week. Tony's been here from the beginning. So Tony is our resident panel member. Let's bring in Faye.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Faye.
Hi, Faye.
Hey.
You're ready to learn a bit more this week,
I
Faye?
am. I'm more intrigued now because of last week.
That's good. I'm glad to hear. Right, so we've got Theo. Theo, are you coming in?
Good evening.
Hey, Theo, how you doing?
I'm well.
Okay, so now we have our two sex therapists that have been working with us over the course of this series. We have, let's bring in Fidel. Fidel wasn't here last week, so Fidel, come in.
Good evening.
Hi, Fidel. Good to have you back, Fidel. We're going to have a great conversation this evening.
We are. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm intrigued.
Yes. And we've got our lovely Chastity from the USA.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, girl. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Great.
I'm just excited to figure out what sex toys Fidel's using. I'm just here for the show.
Yeah, it's going to be hot tonight. And we have our guest in the studio this evening. Now, last week, if you watched the show, we had some gadgets, and not everybody on the panel knew, but this guest in particular knew so much about the toys that I thought it would only be fitting to bring her into the studio. Yes, it is a female. Yes, yes, yes. Can anyone guess who's in the studio with me this evening? Well, we have the lovely Ruth Carter in the studio this evening. Good evening, Ruth.
Evening, my sweetheart. How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's so good
Yes.
for you to be here this evening.
Yes, it's excellent. I'm happy to be here.
Good, good, good. And you did so well last week. You knew all the toys. Well, the ones that no one else. So I'm so glad to have you here today. And so we're going to be looking at some of the toys this evening. So, guys, let's get into the conversation. So, from last week's experience, what did you guys get from it? Did you see toys that you hadn't seen before? Anyone want to answer? I know.
Yes, I saw one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? What was
Yes.
The very first one.
Yes. The
very
gas
first
mask
one.
one.
it? So first one. Right.
Yeah.
So last week we had a pussy pump. Ruth, do you want to come in and just explain a little bit about the pussy pump that we had last week for us?
Yeah, it's a lovely toy. It's something that I do enjoy having the chance to use every now and then because of the sensations. Like I said last week, as we know, when you are engaging or excited, the blood rushes to your sexual organs anyway. So you do get that sensation. What that toy allows you to do is just heighten that because it's pumping, so there's much more blood, so it really kind of pumps out and looks nice and plump, but everything pops out, so your little hood pops out, and you know, sometimes some people have innies, isn't it, you know, so this helps it to come out, so it's just ready for a nice licking and everything like that. So yeah,
Well, folks, as you can see, I'm settling myself down with my cup of tea for this evening's show. We're not playing this evening. So tonight we are looking for the men's toys. We're looking at men. One of the reasons why we decided to do the men's toys is because it's quite taboo, especially amongst the African Caribbean community. Sex is quite a thing, it's a taboo thing anyway, I think. We're more open now than what we used to be, but we have not always been so open. So I wanted to open up the conversation. And I know that we're going to have some men going to be holding their bits tonight. You're going to be holding your bits tonight with some of the toys that we have in store. Now, some of these toys are not going to be for everybody. They're not. But some maybe. We saw last week that Kellyon, our studio guest, he had an epiphany in the midst of the show and said that he realizes how much he's missed out on, how much fun that he's missed out on with a partner. So, you know, we just want us, this show is not about, it's not about us really going deep into the sex talk. It's more about how we enhance our sex life, how we make it better, how we enjoy each other or ourselves more. So, without further ado, right, I'm going to put my cup down and I'm rubbing my hands. I'm ready. So what will the first one be? I'm going to start nice and simple.
soft.
Just a nice, easy. Should I go for this one? Right, okay. So this one here, this is the Candy. It's called Candy and it's a love ring. If I take it out, you can see it's not even open. There you go. What it is, it's a sweet and it comes in 3 sizes. Can you see that? It comes, do you remember these sweets when we were growing up? Right? And you would put this on the man's penis while you are giving him fellatio, a blowjob, right? and you have the sweets to keep it nice and sweet as you are enjoying. There you go. All right. So this one, do you want to have a look at that, Ruth? So guys in the panel, you weren't expecting sweets, were you?
I have a female version of that. I have
So
to
do
say, I have a female version of that one. So
Do you have the bra and the knickers?
I have the bra and the knickers.
Right.
Female.
Okay. Yeah. It's a great gift, guys. It's a great gift for a partner. I will bring in the bra and the knickers next week because we have a lingerie. We want to show you a bit of lingerie as well. And then we got one more show after that, and that's it. The sex season is done. But yeah, so guys, have any of you ever tried these? No, I'm getting lots. Right, so these again, these are little sweets. Do you have anything like this in America, Chastity?
Yeah, they come in a bracelet.
Okay.
just regular non-sexual related jewelry.
There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got.
That's how I know them, as the same way the bracelet. It's as kids.
Yeah, we used to
bite them off my
just
wrist.
just bite them right off your wrist.
Yeah, that's.
I would think that one might get carried away with that at the shaft of the penis, and so in my mind, it could be a beautiful thing or it could be a very risky thing.
Some people they get bitten.
You know, health implications.
On the balls.
The diabetes go up. You know.
Well, Ruth asked a really good question. What was the question, Ruth?
I said, does that go at the front bit, like you mentioned, the shaft, Chastity, or at the end part, or on the balls? Like, which? I don't know. I've never used it.
Right. So there's 3 sizes here. So you can put all 3. If you've got a sweet tooth, which let me just say this: I don't have a sweet tooth. I don't have a sweet tooth. Right? You lick and suck
those sweets
as
are hard.
much as you like. If you've
They're
got
hard.
a sweet tooth, he's going to be very happy.
I just had a thought. No, just just the thought.
Yeah.
But it's not a thought to share.
Okay. Okay. So that was the first one. So we're taking it really simple tonight.
Yeah.
We're taking it really simple. So again, this is I think it's a nice toy to start with, a starter toy, in the bedroom or wherever you choose to be. If you pop this on your partner's penis, he's going to have a great time with you. Enjoy especially if you've got a sweet tooth, he's going to have a really good time with you on this one. Right, so should I go for that one over there?
Which one is that?
The little white one over there. Should we go for that one?
This one?
Yeah. Oops. I can't remember what it's called now. Right, so this one, actually, no, I'm not going to do that one yet. I'm going to do this. This is called Power Erect. Right? So, guys, if you don't even have to be struggling with an erection. You want to last longer, or you want to make your erection even stronger, you just rub some of this on and it will make your penis a lot harder. However, I just want to say this. Those of us who are African and Caribbean, we have things called CMOS. We have things called merengue. We have things that are not like this, that will help, and are more healthy for your body to help with your erection. Guys, anybody want to come in on this one? Any of you guys use anything like this?
No. What's the ingredients? What's the ingredients say on the
Oh, Herbie.
Glasses.
Oh, Herbie.
Herbie wants to know if it is glycerin free, if it's paraben free. Herbie wants to know, is it vegan friendly? I don't blame you, Herbie. Just check the ingredients.
What's it in there?
It says keep out of reach of children. That's what it says. Store in a cool place and out of direct sunlight. It doesn't. Made in the USA. It just gives it doesn't actually say what's in it.
No, I wouldn't be rubbing it anywhere, putting it anywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, to be fair.
Yvonne, there is a thing that the guys we use that some of the guys are called stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tiger balm and
Yeah.
tiger bone and stuff like that. The guys don't use that, but I know some guys have used that and ended up in hospital having to be drained.
The stone is dangerous.
Yeah,
Why is that? Explain.
because they put too much on
And it becomes so hard
that it just
that
doesn't
it
go
won't
down.
go down, and so they have to go into hospital to release that.
Yeah, because they put it on at first, nothing happens, so they say, okay, let's put some more on, and then problems.
Right. So lots of different cultures use different things, and so it's what so as you heard Theo talk about the stone, there's things people drink merengue, some people drink marijuana, they drink the tea to give them that substance, the solidness of an erection. Some people do that and it works for them. This is more a European kind of thing, and it's called Pararectal. I don't know anyone that's used it. I haven't used it. And it comes as a free gift when you buy a certain toy. So I'm going to move on to the certain toy. So when you, sorry, I can't stop laughing. So this toy comes with another toy. So shall we go for the penis pump? So last week you saw the pussy pump. This week, thank you, we have this. This is. Oh, we were going to do a little demonstration as well. This is a penis pump. So this is for demonstration only. Okay. So you would put your penis in there. Like that. And as Ruth is doing. And then you would pump it. And you can see it moving. And it would heighten your erection and all the blood. The same process that happens with the pussy pump is the same process that happens with the penis pump. So you would pump it. The pussy pump had a smaller squirter, but I suppose as a man you've got stronger fingers than I have. So that's what would happen. So you would end up with your penis in there, and it would heighten everything. So the head of your penis would really feel that suction as you start to pump, and it would heighten your erection and heighten your experience. You'd give that one a go?
I've used one.
Okay.
Oh, you have?
Right. So how did you find it, Adele?
Yeah, when I used to be a stripper many years ago, and like sometimes one of the tricks that you have to do as a stripper, because it doesn't matter how well endowed you are, if you're going to go on stage in front of 200 or 300 screaming women, he doesn't want to play, like he wants to hide. So what you have to make sure that you still have something to show at the end of the night. So one of the tricks that male strippers use is to wrap an elastic band around. So you'll get a semi on or an erection and wrap an elastic band around the end so that the blood stays in it, so you can still do the show and it still looks like you've got something at the end of it. And obviously, like getting into that state before the show in a changing room full of other male strippers and female strippers and stuff like that can be quite difficult. So yeah, I had one of those for a little while.
Okay, so we've got a Facebook user that's saying we need proof, Fidel.
Thankfully, this was before social media and camera phones. There is a VHS video somewhere, but I did it for about 3.5 years.
Is there anything on YouTube, Fidel, that we can...
No. I did it for about 3.5 years when I was younger. They made a show about us on BBC TV, but it never got aired in the end.
Okay. Okay, so guys, just to say that if you are on the group, it will come up as Facebook user. All you need to do, if you look at the top of the feed of the thread, you will see something that says something about StreamYard. If you click that link, then we will be able to see your name and see who you are, and then we will be able to give you a shout out. So if you can do that, if you are in a group, this is what will happen. So if you are in the Facebook group, do pop your name, do click that link, and so that we can see who you are. Okay. Emma Fiona saying, "Oh my God, I'm so naive." LOL. I don't know. LOL. But good evening to everybody that's just joining us. We are looking at male sex toys tonight, and we're just talking openly about them. So that contraption, was that more or less of a shock than the pussy pump was last week, guys?
That's not a shock at all.
I've seen that one before. I've never
that.
used it, but I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Guys on the panel, would this be something that you would be interested in using with a partner?
I'd never.
Most definitely.
I'd never see the reason why. I don't like.
Yeah,
for me,
I don't see the reason.
No.
I don't see any point.
Just to see, Fidel. Just to see.
I'm trying to kill somebody with that, man.
I never saw it as a toy in particular. I saw it as a bit of a tool, like something. If you were struggling to get it up, you would use that to pump all the blood in automatically. If you were struggling to do that, now that wouldn't. If I'm lucky enough that wouldn't happen to me in a sexual situation, so I wouldn't think to use it then. I used it as a tool when I was in a situation where I wouldn't normally get blood in my penis. So yeah, I had to use a pump in order to get myself show ready.
Right, to show ready. Okay. Do you see the differences between the male and the female here? Because last week, we were talking about the pussy pump and how it puffs it up and how it makes us feel more sensual, how it really heightens that sexual feeling. Whereas for the males, it's more of a piece of equipment. It's like a tool rather than a pump, which is great. And we're just exploring.
But it would be interesting to speak to men who do use this particular toy, that whether it is for pleasure or for pain, because if you keep pumping and pumping and pumping, when you get your blood pressure done,
it hurts,
and after a while they get to that point and it hurts, and you want them to stop and they don't because you ain't reached there yet, and it still keeps going, and you wish them to stop, and you're like, is this machine broken?
That's that.
Yeah.
So, guys, is there anyone out there who's about? Listen, we had Kelly on last week, and do you know what? I take my hat off. I salute Kelly on 100% for putting himself on the show last week, putting himself in a position of vulnerability and honesty, and being really honest and open about his own sexuality and where he's at and what he's used. And, so if there is somebody out there who has used that, you don't mind, just write a little message and we'll put it up. Because we're interested to know.
I'm very interested to know.
I've got a guy in my Facebook group. I posted the question earlier on as to whether any of them had used any of the toys, and I've got a guy saying he's got a bell end massager. Whatever that is.
Bell end massager.
A bell end massager. He said it's insane. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I would like to see that.
I want to know what it is. I've never heard of that before.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, which part is the end of the bell?
What was that question?
Which part is the end of the bell? I don't know.
Bell end.
The bell end.
Yeah, which part?
The tip.
The top. Okay.
The bell end. It's like a bell.
A bell.
The head. Yeah.
That bit.
Can we just put a close up of Karen? Karen, do that again. Okay. All right. So, guys, if that's you, so we're going to move on so we can get into the conversation. This one. So we have another toy. This one I think is a regular everyday. Now I've known some men that say that their parts are too big for this. This is what we call a rabbit cock ring, and this is for both male and female. Well, the male would put it on, but this would really be for the clitoris. Lots of pleasure here, but it's very stretchable. So unless you're hung like a donkey, it will fit. Have a look at that.
I would definitely use one of those.
Is this something, because I know guys don't really use one of.
I would definitely use.
I've used that one.
Say that again, Theo.
I've used that one.
Right, he's used that one. And what was your findings with that?
Yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable for me. It's not using something before, and plus I'm a deep kind of fellow, so it's kind of got in the way.
Oh, as a donkey.
You're a deep kind of fellow.
So it kind of hindered me, man.
The way.
It's a donkey, really.
Way of the
You
dead.
mean philosophical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cock rings are actually something I suggest for individuals who are having erectile dysfunction type issues, because what it's used for functionality wise will help with blood flow and erection.
Yeah, it was a bit
So
uncomfortable.
when somebody has erectile dysfunction or issues remaining hard, it's always a go-to for me. I always recommend a silicone cock ring, not necessarily something that vibrates. And because, depending on if they got issues or not, if it vibrates, it could actually negatively impact the penis. It could be too much stimulation, but definitely something I always enjoy. Even if my partner is able to get an erection and maintain an erection, even with the cock ring, it's going to be a lot longer. So it's just like taking the things that you guys were talking about, but you don't even have to take it. You just got to put it on. Did you guys use lube, Theo? Lube on you, lube on it?
Yeah, I've done all the lube, but it was just because it's not something that I've ever used before, so it's a bit uncomfortable, a bit like it was just something strange.
Oh, okay. You might need a bigger size, but I'm sure.
No, it wasn't even the size issue or anything. As I said, it's quite stretchable, so that wasn't the problem. It's just not used to having something there in the way while you're doing what you're doing. So it was a bit of a hindrance for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, this one in particular, it's got a bit of a weight to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just saying it's got a bit of a weight here, so that would definitely cause some discomfort because that's what be hitting you, and these little fingers be touching the clit.
Yeah.
So, and this could even cause a bit of. You feel that? Because some people like to thrust very hard.
Yeah. But
Can you imagine that?
But sometimes you don't need to thrust that hard.
But some do.
Yeah, but what about the woman? Does she want that?
Some do.
Some do, but some
some do.
Sometimes you feel like 100. Sometimes you don't.
Some do.
It's about 100.
Yeah.
Some like, for God's sake.
And I think this is where the communication comes in.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you wanted to try that, you could try it out, but it might not be for long-term use.
Let's put that on. Let's put it on the bigger one. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So it's. Listen, this is not a preempted show, so we. You can see I don't take no time.
And there's no lube.
There's no lube.
I've got something.
Right. So that would be. It'd be like that, innit? I've got it.
Wrong way,
Yeah,
Yvonne.
there you go. There you go.
Wrong way.
You could look. Yeah, there you go.
It.
That's how
Poor penis gonna be shafted and everything.
Well, you'd normally put
No, Yvonne, you got it on the wrong way.
Facing the wrong way.
Wrong
Yeah,
way.
you gotta turn it around. The rabbit should be this
The ears are meant to be facing.
Look, I've got no patience at all.
Put some lube on it, Yvonne, man.
Really?
There we go.
Yvonne, lube it up. Yvonne, lube it up.
Put it out now.
No. I'm just gonna take the thing out.
There's. Well,
Look at that, all that friction, man. You're trying to hurt somebody out there, man.
yeah.
Carpet burns on the penis.
Have you seen my?
You're trying to hurt people, man.
Have you seen my shoes, Theo? Okay, then you'll know. Then you'd know. You would know. So for demonstration, listen, I wasn't planning on doing this,
And I wasn't planning on using
and the good materials. There you go. So there you go.
There you go.
Oh, you can do it now.
That's a professional there, man. Look.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this.
Yeah. So, right, we're sliding.
How many women does it take to put on the rabbit cock ring?
Two.
One.
I was talking about last week. They were talking
This could be double fun. That's for a different show. I'm just saying, 2 women, one penis, lots of things going on.
Oh yeah. So this is where we get into the fun, right?
It's working for me, guys.
It's working for you. Is that Patel?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me the way it's on.
Yeah, because that hitting
It's
that,
gonna buck up my things.
Yeah.
like, you know,
That
if you
doesn't.
see hitting that would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's
Told
not.
you it was
That's missing
uncomfortable
my
for
dick.
me. So Yeah.
No, I'm talking about from the female
And
perspective.
yeah, for both people.
Yeah, but the ears ain't do nothing. I
The
don't see
ears
the ears
ain't
doing
doing
anything.
nothing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you get closer, right, that
It
seems
tickles.
a bit too
High.
high.
Yeah. Isn't it meant to be on the other way around?
So maybe you should put it closer.
But then maybe this is not, because it wouldn't be like this, would it? It wouldn't actually be as like this. It would be a bit more
Do
flexible.
you know what I think? The vibration comes from this. Look,
Yeah, but this bit vibrates.
but the
Main
main
bit comes
part
from
will
there.
here.
Yeah, the motor is in that
Yeah,
part.
so
Yeah.
the motor part would be resting on that.
When you first pulled that out, I
Look.
thought I would give that a go. That looked quite interesting to me, but you guys have killed it.
Have we killed the mood, Fidel? Have we killed the mood?
Did it
A little
start?
bit,
Yeah, go on.
a little bit.
There's a valuable lesson that we just learned. We have to learn how to use our sex toys or love aids before we get into the bedroom or wherever we're gonna have it go down. We gotta already be in YouTube or use it ourselves before it's time for the moment.
Oh, I ain't got a clue about
Or
it.
you got to give Fidel more wine. One of the two.
I want Fidel. Right.
Fidel do?
I'll do this, and then Fidel's going to come in with this. Yes, please. Thank you very much.
No, I don't.
And here's one we had earlier. Anyway, so are we going to open this one up?
I think for demonstration
For
purposes.
Now, this one, I've never come across this, and I was intrigued, and this is why I brought it. As you can see, it's new. There you go. It's still in a lot of these things are still in the packet. Just saying.
This week they are.
But try that one. 'Cause it's
Oh
wet.
my God.
Yeah. So this, right. So yeah. This is like.
Is that a squirt?
This is like. It's like a pussy in a can, but without the can. And I read up on the reviews of this, right? I read the reviews because I was like, what the dickens is this? I'm just being honest, right? And the reviews were really good on it. So when I got it, I was just like, how? But apparently, because we've got this one, we've put the lube on this one.
Well, put the dick in.
Yeah. But they were saying on the reviews that it stretches.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't like the feel of this. And they were saying that it feels like it's real flesh. And the men's review, I don't like it.
Should we try this?
You gotta put lube. You gotta put lube on the dildo too. You gotta put lube on the dildo too. Put lube on the dildo. Lube inside of it, and it will
Lube
work.
inside of it.
Here, go again.
Oh no.
Here, I'll do.
I don't like it. It feels, it's all silicone.
Right.
I don't like how it feels.
There you go.
It looked like some kind of sea creature, you know.
It don't look right, does it? No, I mean, this is just my. Somebody else might like it.
Try the small
I'll
one.
try the small one.
That one's really for the anus, but you know,
Yeah,
whatever works.
Because I wonder if that's supposed to replicate.
Can you see the hole?
Anal.
It's like I need my glass.
Turn it the other way. You got it sideways. Turn it vertical. Yeah, try it vertical. Did you put lube inside of it?
Yeah, she put a little bit. There, it goes in, as you can see. You can see.
It's the wrong hole.
But can you push it all the way in? Because of that.
You can look, because that's what they said. There you go. That's what it does.
Why does your face look like that? I mean,
Like
the
he's
man
like
got up
it.
and ran away at this point.
It's not for you, Yvonne.
You know what? So this is, but I can see how it works, and the reviews on this were so good. That's why I bought it. This is a new concept for me. I'm just being honest. It's a new concept, so that's why my face is. It is because I can't help it. So there you go. So guys, so if you're single, but let me say this, some of the reviews, some of the women, there was a woman who said she bought this for her husband as a present. So I think it might have been a birthday or something, and how much he enjoys using it. But you only get a certain amount of uses out of it. And she said, because it was her that wrote it, that what they do, it's lasted a lot longer. They just wash it out. And so they've had a lot more use out of it. But you can see it's expanded, and there you go.
Even to the back.
So people wouldn't wash it out.
Listen, you see, common sense. It's not common sense to everybody, you know.
It's not common.
Some people don't wash these things out. Do you want to have a feel of that? And it feels really, yeah.
Oh, it comes out through the
The
other
other end. So yeah, so they're having. So they're having a good old bashing the bishop.
Why would you use that, man? I just don't.
Because you haven't got a woman and it's locked down. Theo.
You just don't want to engage with a real female. I guess that works.
Some people ain't got a wife, Theo, and it's locked down.
Yeah. Look, I'm just reading some of the comments.
How would you do that how does the guy do that by himself?
Just hold it in his hand.
Hold it in his hands.
Yes, Theo. Hold it in your hand.
So there you go.
So that's different to a vibrator.
Right, hang on, exactly, right? Hang on a minute. This is where this is the issue, right?
Yeah, look, exactly. Did you hear that? Did you hear what Ruth said?
I said it's like it's coming.
And it's plastic.
Right, so look at everybody's faces, including mine.
So, so Fidel.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say.
You've got a lot to say. Come on, tell us.
Yeah, so like looking at everybody's faces and the comments on there, and including my face, I'm joining in too. Like the difference between all of us are like, ugh, what is that? It feels weird. It's not real. It's like shagging a corpse. Why would you use it? What is the difference between that and a vibrator that doesn't feel real? It feels weird. Why would you use it? Only if you're lonely. Only if you're single. Like, why do we talk in this way about men's sex toys and not about women? I find that fascinating.
I think this. I mean, it for me. It feels like jelly. Like I just don't like the scent. This.
So this is the one. This is what I bought for research purposes.
Yeah. So
research purposes.
This is like a dildo. I can hold it. It feels normal, but this feels like yuck.
Putty in a bag.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel. I think it was
on the outside. If you put your finger in it, what does it feel like on the inside?
That is not the finger you would use, Yvonne. That's not the finger you would use, Yvonne.
Use the right finger.
Use the right finger.
I would do.
I know you're not dipping no pinky. Not you.
Well, you never know.
I think so. Go for two.
Only Ruth, yeah.
Thank God for Ruth. Bring the truth.
You can't say that, Karen. You don't know what I use.
Thank God for Ruth. Bring the truth. But pinky.
Amazing inside.
Do you think it feels amazing? I won't go that far.
Yeah, it does. Because imagine, right?
It's cold.
Blood. No, but we're not. You might not be feeling very.
Do you put it in the microwave?
Cold. Yeah, a vagina would be.
Put it in hot water.
Yeah,
you haven't put any lube on it either.
Bread in it feels like
the heat isn't there.
the heat isn't there.
But
So do you put it in hot water? Do you warm it up before you use it?
No,
weird.
no, it doesn't say that.
And there's no lube.
No,
Well,
we
there's
put
only
lube
a
in
little bit, and do you know
We
what? It's
put
got
lube in it.
rings inside.
Yeah, so it feels
It's got
like
the ring feeling inside. So yes.
So it's Quintin.
Once you whack lube on, and you know your blood brings heat, and they whack that on. You won't give a toss about the cold.
well,
or
no,
not.
you don't give a toss about a vibrator being cold, do you?
No.
But this, it doesn't. I suppose it's got the ridges.
That
but this,
feels good. The guys are lucky. Because I'm not going to sit there fingering it all down.
no, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's just me. I don't like that one at all.
It's not for you, Yvonne. It's okay.
No. So Fidel, I'm coming to you because you have something to show.
I did. I brought it with me. So you gave me full warning that we were going to do this show, and so I contacted my friend who has an Aladdin's cave of sex toys, and has provided me with stuff before. But I've never bought anything for myself, which was quite interesting, just even for me to realize that. And I said, look, we're doing a show about men's sex toys. Like, what have you got? And he's like, oh yeah, I've got loads of stuff. He said, I've got the fleshlights, I've got the cock rings, I've got the anal beads, and he said the prostate massager. And even when he was saying these things, I was like, do you know what? I'm liberated, right? I'm very open sexually, you know. I talk about all this stuff, but it was even making me cringe at the thought of it. I said, dude, you know, I'm liberated, but I'm not that liberated. You know, I don't want my prostate massage, thanks. And apparently they're very popular. So in the end, we ended up going for this one because I'd heard of this before. This is the most popular thing, isn't it? The Fleshlight. You can see why it's called that. It's like a torch. And like when I first heard of these things, there was only like one. And so he sent me the link to his shop. See it there?
See it there? Yeah.
It's the one kind of, isn't it?
That it's a bigger version of this one. Yeah.
It's a bigger version, right? So then he sent me the link, and there was like about 60 of them to choose from. They're quite expensive as well.
Yeah, they are.
They were all based on different porn stars, basically.
Okay.
Molded on them, apparently. But it does feel weird. It's all made of silicone. It goes in there. It's dishwasher friendly, apparently. So you can put it in the dishwasher afterwards.
Can you hold it up a bit, Fidel, so we can see on yeah, okay. So pull it out again, because you pulled it out, didn't you? Right, okay, there you go. Thank you for that.
And the insides of them, that's what's different about them. So they've all got different different kind of like coils and stuff like that. So different it's like the
ridges.
Yeah, different ridges and stuff like that, apparently. Nice. So yeah, you put lube on it and off you go. So when I first asked in my men's group about whether guys had used these before, and apparently they're very popular. So a lot of them had them, and a lot of them have been bought them by their wives when they were pregnant and stuff, and said, right, so here's your thing, go over there and use that.
Oh, wow.
So, but then they've kept them, and they use them in the bedroom like together as a sex toy as they would with a female one. So yeah. Bring it in as part of the game.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to go to Herbie first.
It feels sad though, doesn't it? Even this, I just look at it and it's not appealing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
So, Herbie.
Yes.
How do you feel? It's a shame that we didn't have you guys have these toys in your possession so you could feel it. How do you feel about this toy in particular as a married man? Could you see yourself using something like this? Not this in particular or what Fidel's got, but thinking about using it. Let's go to thinking about using it. Could you see yourself even thinking about using it?
To be honest, yeah, I would think about using it. It would have to be some situation where I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scenario in a situation, but yeah. But I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say like nah. Definitely wouldn't use it. Michelle said that she'll say no, but
would you say no, Michelle, to using that?
Yeah, I don't think I'd want. Well, it's not for me, is it? But no, I wouldn't.
I mean, I know. Look, just looking at it,
be up for it.
Just looking at it and what it does, I would feel very, very awkward. Using that, something like that. It just wouldn't sort of. I don't know. It just. Yeah, I feel awkward, but I wouldn't say, I wouldn't put my life in it and say we'll never use one. But yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your honesty. We're going to go to Tony. We're just going to jump really quickly. Tony.
Oh boy.
Would you consider it?
I don't know what to say. What I'd give it a go. I'd give it a go. I mean, what have I got to lose? You know, I'd give it a go. I'm not gonna spend my money on a product that I have no idea how it feels and what benefit it's gonna bring me. That just doesn't make sense. It's like buying a parachute and not going in the airplane. You know, you don't know what the sensation is like. So the parachute without jumping out of a plane means nothing. I'm open to anything, but I just kind of look at that and think, I'm not sold on it. I'm not sold. I like, I like what women can do to me, and I like what I can do to myself.
You be doing both. It's a 2-for-1, Tony.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm kind of like, am I really gonna benefit more from the toy than Listen, I do what I do very
For
well
4 hours.
with great satisfaction. No.
And an elbow.
Elbows.
4 hours.
Don't forget the elbows. She's got elbows. She's got like 2 elbows.
Yeah. So I do what I do with great satisfaction. In the words of Samuel Jackson, with great vengeance and furious anger. I don't know what that's about.
Wild.
I guess I need to go. I guess I need to go in a shop and use the finger test and see, how that feels on the finger.
Yeah, I think you'd have to try it out. I think I would say to most men to.
It feels pretty realistic.
And try it. So I'm going to jump. Go to Fidel. What was he saying?
I said it feels pretty realistic, like as realistic as you could get without it being a real thing, and certainly more realistic than your hand. Obviously, you use lube. Lube with it, so it's just an enhancement of using your hand. I guess it's better than an apple pie.
I mean, did you turn down the lights? Did you light some candles? Did you set the mood? Was it music involved? I mean, you gotta get creative.
A little wine. Pour a bit of wine on it.
My sexy hip hop playlist on, and everything. Sunglasses.
So the Facebook user says, I went to an adult sex shop at the weekend and was surprised there wasn't much. That is because sex toys have gone up in sales by 70%. If you are from the UK, that's why there was nothing there, because everybody's preparing for this so-called second lockdown. So that is why you couldn't find it. So I'm going to
second lockdown's going to be rough.
I'm going to go to Theo and then come to the ladies. Theo, is this something like Fidel's got the big one, and this one is the small one?
That's what all the girls say.
I bet they do it all, Fidel. Theo.
No.
But I mean, there are other versions of those things as well. Like the one I have, we call it helping hands. And so this can actually be used while giving a blowjob. So you can literally give a hand job, and then if the penis is big enough, then or large enough, it'll actually come out of the other end. So it could be a multitask type, situation. So they come in all shapes or sizes, all different ways. Normally one side will be bigger than the other. So it's supposed to mimic a vaginal opening. The smaller side is supposed to be more for an anal opening. So they come in all types of shapes and sizes. We call them pocket pussies and stuff like that in the States. So it really just depends. There's all kind of different, materials, fabrics, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's a very common thing. When people think male sex toys, they pretty much are always going to say something like this.
Okay. Ruth's having that is actually a pocket pussy. That's what this is called. This is So Theo, go, because I will come back to the ladies. Theo.
No.
Theo is blessed. You're blessed, Theo.
That was just so direct.
No.
That was too direct. Theo's like,
so this is the thing, Theo.
No,
Today
it's
is
because I don't play with myself like that anyway. So to put that on and do
listen.
all that, it just doesn't.
Just,
I like
you
the other
know,
one that you just had though, Chastity. That's the one, the hand, happy hand, or whatever it's called.
helping hands is what
Yeah,
that
I
one's
like
called.
that
But
one.
I'm simply saying today is actually National Kink Day. So, you know, I want to challenge everybody to try
National
something
what
out of
day?
their
Cheat
National
day.
Kink Day. This is National Kink, Kink, Kink Day. You know, so I want to challenge everybody to try something different and outside of their norm, right? Because you never know that, you know, I always say don't yuck someone else's yum, but you never know what you're going to like unless you actually try it. Yeah, today is National Kink Day. It's a real thing.
Okay.
And I think
I just said it's not. That doesn't work for me. The helping hand thing, that one's cool. But the other one, no. It's just not, doesn't.
Well, this is like a helping hand. This one is a CMT.
No, it's okay.
You can get butt
Yeah.
ones as well.
But it comes out the edge.
I have no problem with it, but it's just not for me.
It's not for you. Okay, so Faye, could you see yourself buying something like this for your partner?
I think I would. I think it's a discussion with him first. I wouldn't just go and buy it because I mean, the way you were demonstrating it, I don't know that I'd like the feel of it, but I think it's a discussion with my partner first as to whether he would try it, because there's no point in buying something that he's really not going to be trying. And it's interesting, Fidel said about being pregnant, because when I was pregnant, I was shut for business. There was no going in, nothing. So maybe if I'd have had something like that, maybe that could have helped my partner at the time with his frustration, because I was shut for business. There was just no entering at all.
And see, everybody is different, because when I'm pregnant, I'm extra super horny. Like it's like all the all the things.
It just wouldn't work. I was closed. I think my daughter was just like, no, you're not coming in here. It's not happening. She was just not having it. But it was a difficult time, put it that way. And as the pregnancy got worse, it was more difficult. It wasn't that I wasn't horny, it was just it just was not functioning that way.
Okay, I get that. So because sometimes that happens, but I just said, I don't know if they heard. I said, well, it's the free ticket. You know, when you're pregnant, there's nothing to. Well, in my pregnancies, I was very, very horny, very. So it was, come on, let's get it on. It was.
So was I very horny too.
In your pregnancy, yes, the baby. Okay, so as it, Karen, before we move on to the next thing, would you be willing to try this with a partner?
No.
Look at this though.
No.
It really does expand, you know.
No, I'm not getting that one. Maybe the other one that Chastity showed.
Yeah.
The aid.
Is it
the little helper?
Is it because it's, if this was like, because it's white, isn't it? I'm not to be racist or anything like that, but is it because it's less appealing because it looks a certain way? Do you think?
It doesn't look real at all. It just looks, I don't know. Just don't like it.
Yeah, I'm getting
not visually appealing.
It's not visually appealing at all, to be fair. But I am kind of getting used to the sensation of what it feels like, the silicone, what it feels like. But I still wouldn't like it myself.
I might have to model one for him.
Okay.
Get one cast.
Why would a man, if he's in a partner, why would he use that? If you have a partner, why would you use that as well? I don't see it.
Just for fun, Theo.
Your partner is out of town.
Yeah, when they're on
the vibrator on a woman, I think it's no different.
Mutual masturbation.
Yeah.
Maybe your partner likes to see you jerk off. I mean, the list can go on and on and on.
Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. I'm just asking that if that's what it's there for, then hey. Not for me. I think my wife would be very jealous if I was using that more than her, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. All right, so we've got a comment. Can we go back to the one before that? Yeah, it says, I'm like the heavens always open. If the hip not available, the lips will do. But that dead pum pum, not in my parliament. That's what they said.
That's Shalomi.
Oh, look at Tony now. Tony knows.
Tony, turn up.
Shalomi's name should come up.
Nah, she's not logged in. I've got the live chat on my screen next to me.
Okay.
Tony keeping tabs on
Okay, so
Shalom.
us women want toys and have our own man join in, but sounds like we don't want to do the same for them. That's another Facebook user saying that.
That's Lorraine. That's Lorraine.
Okay. Right, so we're going to move on to the next one because what's the time? Let's keep right. So this one is a gag. So this is what would go in this end here would go in the mouth. You would then put this around the person, your man's head, or not, because this could be used for others as well. So if you're in the same sex relationship, this can be used too. So, and then you tie it, and then the person would sit on this end. Okay?
They can sit or you can move.
Or you can move. Yeah, there you go.
On the face?
On the face.
On the face.
Yeah, so you put it on, and then they, you will do what you want to do.
Sorry, can you say
Why would a guy use that as
men?
well?
Is it for men?
That's for men.
No,
Why would a guy use that?
No, that's the woman uses it and the man sits on it, apparently.
No.
About to say, that doesn't make sense for a guy.
You can do.
It can also be done that way, Tony.
I
If you
guess,
put it away.
Chastity, you're going to say that works for both.
It does work for both.
We had this conversation last week. Majority of every single toy, love aid or whatever word we said we were going to come up with last week, can be used across the gender spectrum. It doesn't have to be it's not mutually exclusive to just one gender. But yeah, a man can use that. Absolutely, he can use that. He can take off the mouthpiece and just use the regular part and just use it to penetrate his woman. He can do that while sucking on the nipples, eating the vagina. I mean, fingering the vagina. I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff that could happen. Again, I think it just takes creativity. When we look at a toy or a thing or object in one way and it can only be used in one way, that's that. But also, let's not knock that some men actually like anal penetration. Some people have experienced it and they like it. And you don't have to be gay to enjoy or like anal penetration. I know we don't have time to really dive into that probably in this show. But the point is there are men or there are males who enjoy anal stimulation and pleasure. Though there are many categories in porn that are just for that. So it absolutely is possible.
So some people are asking, how would you breathe with something like that? And all I can say is, being a boxer, you learn that when you have a gum shield in your mouth, you don't breathe through your mouth. You use your nose to breathe. So clearly, if you know anything about breathing, and I know with some forms of yoga, you learn how to breathe through your nostrils. Yeah, so it doesn't seem that strange to me to be able to have that in your mouth and breathe.
So Tony, okay, cool. Nice to know.
Nice to know.
Yeah.
Nice to know.
You're good at breathing through your nose, yeah?
Very.
And you won't drown. Hopefully you won't drown.
Listen, when it's again, it comes like this, and it comes to cunnilingus. Yeah. If you're down on a woman and you're giving cunnilingus,
you got to breathe through your nose.
You have to have control of your breathing through your nose. It makes sense.
I mean, it would be the same if you had a thicker woman. It would be the same if you had a thicker woman with thick thighs or nice butt. You're going to still have to try to figure out how to breathe in that situation.
Exactly.
I mean,
You're going to have to breathe in there, because if you die, hey.
You die.
I haven't had anybody die on me yet.
Casualties of war.
that pussy was to die for.
And I'll turn it. You might have to turn your head.
I'm looking for that one there, yeah? I'm looking for
There's
that
a whole
one.
lot
I will happily die in a
All of
pussy.
that going on.
I don't know if anyone has ever seen the Richard Pryor sketch, but if there's a queue for dying with a pussy, I want to be in that queue. Because if you give me a choice between dying in a pussy and getting run over by a bus, the pussy is winning.
Respect you, Tony Cox.
Okay, Tony, we know.
Respect you.
I don't know a man alive that is going to take the other queue. And if you come at the same time as you die, you came and went at the same time. That's called recycling.
Go on, Tony. Tony's not playing. So you got lyrics today. Golden mic time. Listen,
All right, Tom.
okay, so as Tony said, you do need to breathe, right? But you know, you might be swimming, so you might have to swim. You might have to breathe like a swimmer and turn your head to the side and then move back. Okay. It's true. It's true, isn't it?
I mean, one would hope that you're not in the same place doing the same strokes to begin with or the same licks. I mean, one would hope that there is some sort of motion or movement, you know.
Well,
one would hope.
At least before you pass out, change position.
One would hope, yes. And sometimes there is no hope, but there you go. So we're going to move on to the next toy. Now, this one, we need the cameraman because one is going to have to stand. In all things, you know, there comes a time in life when you have to just stand. It's a real serious moment. So, I'm going to show you the next toy. Now, this again is a toy for male or female use. So I'm going to stand up and I'm going to show this one.
Boing.
There you go. This is the what would we call this? My alpha self. Anyway, so this is a strap.
Can you turn so we can get a side view, a side angle? Yeah.
Now I haven't done it upright because I had to put it on really quickly because I didn't have this on before. But this is the bigger one. This comes with 3 sizes, right? So that one is for the prostate or not. That's one size. And then this one is more for the anus, I believe. But there are some who can take this one, is the same as this. So these are for men and for women. So if you are female in a same-sex relationship, you may use this. And if you are in a heterosexual relationship, you may use this as well. Okay?
Why is every man not looking at the camera right now?
Every
man on the panel, except for Herbie, was looking somewhere totally different.
So this would be a lot tighter. This would probably be up here because I haven't done it up properly. So it would probably be up here and look like this.
Come.
All right.
Oh.
Yvonne, you just look wrong. So wrong.
Isn't it? Yeah, well,
He's only.
you know what? I wasn't going to put this on, but I'm glad I did because I've actually got the shoes. If the cameraman wants to have a look at the studded shoes down here to go with it, this is very kink. And as it is National Kink Day, I'm very fitting today. You see these kink shoes? Yes.
All that's missing is a whip.
I didn't bring it. I didn't bring it this week. It was in the bag last week, but it wasn't in the bag this week. So there you go. So, you know, this is, some people would call this wearing this kink. Some people, it's very natural to wear this. It just depends on your relationship and the conversations that you have. Mr. Film man, you're going in too close now, you know. I feel a little awkward myself. So let me just come out of this contraption. There we go. So that was the strap on. Okay, so the last one that we are going to look at. We're not going to, I mean, we've got a butt plug here. This one, and it's quite a big one actually. This one.
It's pointy too.
Yeah.
That looks. Oh,
It vibrates though.
It does
vibrates.
vibrate.
It's
You
a
can
nice
feel
ease
it.
in.
This one does vibrate. And it's quite a big one for lots
Are
of.
these better, Theo? You might give these a shot.
Those ones are small. If we can go to Chastity, let's just bring in Chastity's ones there.
Uh,
Those ones
Theo,
up, please.
Theo said those were too big. These are smaller. Would you give these a go?
He's like, nah.
This one actually glows in the dark, by the way.
So you won't totally lose it, Theo.
Here's one, actually.
Glows in the dark. A complete, utter waste of.
I left it on my desk after last week's show,
what's
and it
the
was literally
point?
glowing in the middle of the night.
So, with afterglow. Does it just make the bottom glow? I just want to know. Right, I know it might sound like a silly question.
so Chastity, when you're saying that will glow inside the man's or the female's anus while it's in the dark?
Can you see it?
Yeah,
Can you
this
see it?
part, this back part is going to be out.
So it will be glowing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
If it's dark, yeah, it glows in the dark.
Oh,
You want me to
my
cut the lighting so you can see?
That's
Hold
it.
on.
So you have to be looking at
Theo is officially interested.
See it? You can kind of
Yeah.
see it. It's too much light from the camera. Yeah, I can't really do
Yeah,
that.
but I we get it. Okay. 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 Wow.
They're going to have nightmares.
Wow.
Somebody said, imagine losing your woman to a strap-on for backside. So, guys, listen. Listen, what I want to say to you, just because you're using toys doesn't mean to say that you're going to lose your partner. These are supposed to enhance your sex life. That's the purpose. These, another anal butt plug, but with beads. Right, so that one is not, it's still long, but it's not as big as that one over there. So we've
Yvonne,
got, yeah.
sorry, Lorraine is asking, what does a butt plug actually do? So you kind of need to go a little bit more deep.
Which one?
Which one?
Which one?
Lorraine Bailey asked, what does a
No.
butt plug actually do?
Like what Chastity had.
I think she's asking in general, what does a butt plug do?
It gives you pleasure in your bottom. That's what it does. It enhances your sexual pleasure. Some people like it, some people don't. It just heightens everything. There are a lot of women who have orgasm through anal penetration. Some don't.
Yeah, typically it's the strongest orgasm that we typically have. Men have had anal orgasms. I have anal orgasms as well. It's just about being open. Yeah, we have like an anal G spot, so it absolutely happens. But sometimes people use butt plugs to help prepare or get ready for anal sex or anal play. Period. Maybe you're not ready for a penis, but you might want to try one of these. Or sometimes a partner might put this in the anus as they penetrate the vagina. It's all kinds of reasons and ways that it happens. But again, prostate milking, anal play, there are tons of categories on porn. This is something that lots of people are into. Typically, if somebody has a bad experience with anal, they won't do it again. Most people who've tried it, if you do it right, you'll enjoy it. So when people say that they have done it and didn't like it, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't done correctly, it wasn't done right. And that's pretty much all I can say about that one for this show.
You've got the G spot in your anus. Men typically, I think, that's my personal opinion, tend to like this more. I don't have many conversations with women about this, but it's more men that have the. But you would need to glove up. You might need some of these before you start playing with these. Some of these before you play with these. That's what I would say. I want to move on because I want to get into the conversation. So we have this. Now I'm going to hand this over to Ruth. And right. So guys, are we ready? Mr. Cameraman, are we ready? Yeah, because I need you to put the camera on these. Yeah. Oh, is that in the camera?
Oh,
All right, it's on you. So, yeah, we'll put it over there to you.
Right. What is it? Knife and fork set?
Hold on. Does anybody know, apart from Chastity and Fidel, does anyone know what these are?
No clue.
Butt trainers.
They look like weapons.
They do look like weapons.
Okay.
I got some use that would do some serious damage of those, man.
Alien thing.
Do any of you know where you would position these things?
They get bigger in size.
There's a big
Only the butt. It's only gonna go in the butt, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's
only
butt
gonna
trainers.
Yeah. Butt trainers. Wow.
Yeah, butt trainers.
Natalie St. Mark says no idea. Okay, anyone else? And then we're going to move on. We're going to tell you what it is. No one else? Okay.
So, all right. So these are urethral sounding rods. They're steel and they're for urethral play and pleasure. Some men get really turned on by urethral play, but it's really, you need to use the right lubricant. This is a sterile lubricant because it's the urethra. You know, it's a part of the body organism and it carries bacteria and germs. So what you don't want to do is push anything any further. So you would use this. Obviously, you clean your toys, but you use this as part of the lube. You put it on the penis and you put it on here. Apparently, so I was told, this one is really painful, but this is the start in one. But this size seemed to, I was told, be much more comfortable. Once you put it in,
Yes, Theo. Yes, Theo. That's where it's going.
once you put it inside, let me take this for the demo. So once you put it inside the penis, right? What eventually happens is
Theo's turned his face.
the goes down and it and the man ejaculates.
You know something?
Let's go.
You don't even understand
It's gone too far now, man.
That hurt me on behalf of you men. That hurt me.
Listen, though. Just because it's not for you does not mean that some people don't find this pleasurable.
No, I understand that.
They'll
That's
look
the
so uncomfortable.
the problem with somebody finding it. No.
I need to breathe.
I don't understand.
Hold on, Facebook says use a man for an experiment. Those toys are adventurous.
Can you pick up that very last, that very big one? There was a big, massive one. Like,
no, sir.
All right. So I tell you what.
let me see that big one. How is that?
You have to train up to that, Theo. You don't just jump up big.
Even how? Look how big it is.
Small. Start small and train.
Leave that for
The modern man has not said a word. I want the record to show that the modern man has not said a word.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna damage yourself.
Okay, so Fidel, let's put Fidel in. Fidel, because you are the modern man, as Chastity has pointed out. So Fidel,
no, sir.
Hold on, guys. Everyone's going to get a chance to come in, but Fidel, I want to hear what you've got to say.
Like, yeah, well, no.
No.
But it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting, the reaction. Even, like I said, even in me, I'm intrigued in my own, like, repellent reaction to this stuff. And I know what these are. I've seen them before. I've heard lots of people talk about them and everything else like that. Never have I wanted to experiment with them. Like, it's a physical, like, don't come near me with that. As it is with a lot of sex toys. Same with the anal stuff as well. I feel exactly the same way. And that surprises me, my own reaction to that. But yeah, just no. So I totally get it for everyone else.
Great stuff. Thank you. Tony Cox, coming very quickly.
Ladies, you got to look at the reaction of the men. Nothing you had last week gave any kind of reaction like what you just gave us men. Nothing that you pulled out, the pussy pump, nothing had that kind of reaction to what you just pulled out. That last piece that you nah, sir.
Tony, just
Tony.
take Shell up on her offer. There's worse things than what Shell offered you.
So I like to watch the reaction. So I've been actually watching the males on the panel, right? So my question to you guys, what would be pleasurable love aids or toys that you would find to be welcomed in the bedroom or for solo play? What would those things be like? What would they consist of? What do you think that would be? Just curious.
Okay, can I answer that one?
Yeah, go for it, Tony.
Okay, so I guess the ultimate for a man, and it's not every man, but the ultimate for the man is something that replicates the woman. So the device that Fidel has replicates the woman. Yeah? We don't ask our women to go sticking stuff in our urethra. We don't do that. All right, I said we generalizing again, but if we want something that acts like, looks like, feels like, smells like, wet like a woman. Yeah.
So you'll buy Erykah Badu's
if you add
pussy
some
perfume
vibration to that, even better, because in the act of lovemaking, sex with a toy for the woman has double impact. As Chastity says, what works for a woman can work for a man. So vibration on a man's penis is wonderful. You're looking at things that can do things for a man's ball sack, yeah, up and down the shaft, anything on the tip. So all the various sensations around a man's penis, you're looking to enhance that sensation with some kind of toy or stimulant, yeah? Where you go off course with things like that, I just don't see it. I just, I'm never going to go to a woman, can you stick something up here? Nah. Sorry.
Lovely.
That there is painful looking, and it makes a man feel like, jeez, whoever invented that there.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm just looking at
Every hole is a goal.
I'm really sorry.
Every hole is a goal.
What it is, I've been to the clinic and they've put something down there, and that was something much smaller than that, and that was painful enough. So imagine putting that metal, whatever that is, no. Mm-mm. And then that big massive one as well. Oh, jeez, bread.
I think that if you train up, Theo, next time you go, you'll be fine when you go to the clinic.
It's okay. You can practice for me.
Train up.
When you and your partner, you can practice for me. Thank you. And he can tell you how it is.
Okay, so Fidel, you had your hand up.
Well, no, I mean, I was saying, do you know what? Like, I kind of get the concept of the butt plugs and the ass stuff. Like, I kind of get why guys would use it. Again, personally, that's not me, but I totally understand that that's a block that I've got, mainly because of the culture that most of us grew up in, and the time that we grew up in as well, during the 70s, 80s, and 90s and stuff like that. That whole thing, and culturally for us, the whole ass play has got such connotations with homophobia and everything else like that, that it kind of it's a big mental block for most of us guys that are on this show, I expect, and a lot of the guys that are listening. But I guess guys who've got past that kind of hang up or didn't have it in the first place, I understand why, because I've spoken to guys who really love it. You know, they're straight. It's got nothing to do with being gay or whether you are, whether you aren't. They really enjoy it, and apparently the G spot and everything else like that makes is extremely pleasurable. And I kind of, part of me is like, well, you're missing out on all of that stuff. So I get that. The other thing where the urethra sticks, just no, that's just looks painful. I don't know that.
And can I just also add to that, because I think what men start to think about when we see instruments like that is you start thinking about all the weird and wonderful stuff that doesn't come under what I would call classic kink. Yeah. So all the stringing up, you know, when you see all them things where a man's strung up by his balls and a woman is stamping on his balls with high heel stilettos, and you're like, what kind of madness? Gimp masks. Yeah. I mean, there's a level of that is it's in a different shelf. Yeah. You go in a porn store and you see all the usual stuff. Yeah. Then you go to a different corner of the store and there's some stuff that you go, nah, this ain't my corner.
But that's
that corner has got them kind of things there where you go, nah, not me, sir. The gimp mask and all them things there, nah, sir.
So I find that to be really funny though, Tony, because in previous shows you've been pro BDSM, and so I think that when you have been pro BDSM, your stance on it has been pro. Come on now.
I love it. I'm not.
So
listen.
The stuff that you are yucking or the things that you are saying are not the norm for somebody that's real deal in that life. That is the norm. That is the thing. That is the key. I mean, everybody kinky ain't on the same level, but that's what it is.
I totally understand you, Chastity, but there's levels to this stuff, yeah.
There are people who pay their whole entire paychecks for people to make them not be in control and to be in utter pain. I mean, there are people in the US who make a living off of doing this. They will tell somebody when they can pee. They literally have to hold it until their mistress or master tells them that they can release it. So this stuff is way more mainstream. Well, I'm not gonna say mainstream because this is the stuff that people kind of keep under wraps. These your CEOs, your business owners, your billionaires. This is the stuff. If you ever watch the show Billions, you will see that lawyer go through that in one of the first scenes in the first season. It's like that is the reality that people have to go pay somebody to have those things done because their partner may or may not be open to doing them. So the very things that you are like, oh, that's not mainstream, that's not normal. Like those are the things that people really desire and want. For some people, pain is the ultimate pleasure. For others of us, maybe not so much. So again, it kind of goes back to not yucking someone else's yum, being open and communicating about what you want, need, and desire. Because can you imagine being someone who loves this and adores this, but your partner's like, oh my God, could never happen. And then you wonder why your partner be slipping around with somebody that's gonna tie them up by their balls hanging from the ceiling. Because you won't.
And we all know that happens. You know, that's why you end up with swinging parties and you end up with voyeuring and all that kind of stuff. So there's lots of areas of sex that we're not discussing on this show, which go into all kind of bestiality and animals and all kind of shit. We ain't going down that road. But let's be honest, when it comes to BDSM, I did say I'm all about. I've got no qualms with that. So if you want to put some nipple clamps on me, great. I'm not a problem with that. If you want to put a paddle on me, I ain't got a problem with that. There are levels to this stuff because when you want to stick something down, that hole and every hole ain't a gold, Karen. Because sorry, for some men, there's a line. There's a line which we don't cross, you know. And I'm sure the same applies to women.
All right, so Tony, hold on. Ruth's got something to add.
I just wanted to add that, you know, there is soft play and then there's hard play, right? And just like Chastity said, I think there are people, because tonight is about men's toys, right? You've got different types of men. And I think some people have had the opportunity to really excel here on earth, get to the top of everything, over-exceed. They've done all the sports, they've got all the gold medals, they've done all what they need to do, they're earning all their money, and still they want more. They said it was pleasure versus pain. So I think the genre of toys that have been displayed does show some forms of pleasure, but some forms of extreme pain, because that's what some men, not all, but some men desire that, and they get off it and they come and explode like a
Volcano.
volcano. Like it's
But
crazy.
the question I would ask is, why, when you did the whole show last week on the women, you didn't have a single product that gives extreme pain?
No, we didn't. But these products that we have.
Well, actually, the pussy pump can do that.
The pussy pump can be,
Yeah.
You talking
I'm supposed to be
about-
leaving, but I don't want.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So would you?
No, I've seen
Do you
it
wanna
in
see-
use.
Also, the dildos or whatever, sometimes some people don't know how to put it in. They're just ramming it up. That cause pain, yeah? They think they know what they're doing. You know, even with their cock, they think they know what they're doing.
time
They're
out.
ramming you out.
I could
And
do that with my penis.
painful for some women.
So Tony,
I could do that with my penis if I just
Tony.
stick it in the wrong hole at the wrong time.
And some people are very well endowed, and their well endowedness, they know it causes pain. You
So I have a question.
Is a chore.
I have
Do
a
you know what I
question.
mean? So that's just
Go for the question and then I'll come in with a comment.
Yeah, because I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know your thingy.
Would we have rather had like electro play, fire play, knife play? Like, is that what you wanted to see? And would that have made you feel better if that's what we showed last week versus this urethral device that has you like totally going through PTSD symptoms right now?
I mean, is there a urethral device for women?
I'm sure that same device could be used on us. I'm
Just
pretty
use
sure
the
of
same
it.
one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just don't try and stick it as far in.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this is not about comparison. And I think that this is where women and men sometimes get into issues. And a lot of the time it's like, oh, geez, the women are doing this and the men are doing that. But actually, let's try and work together. It's not about comparison. Oh, last week you had this and this week you got this. It's just toys. It's just conversation. That's all it is. And it's just illuminating the conversation. That's what this show is about. It's about us talking and having the communication and bringing something to the table that's not usual. The pussy pump, nobody on the platform knew what it was until I said, Ruth, do you know what it is? And she said yes. And it's the same with these urethra sticks, as we call them, right? No one, and I purposely didn't ask Fidel or Chastity. And so we did the same thing. I just wanted to see if you knew. That's the important thing. And you didn't. And so we're just bringing, how many people on this show can honestly say that they've seen this? Not many. There'll be a few, but not everybody. And so I wanted to bring something to the table, just like the pussy pump. And after the show, do you know how many females, how many messages? Where do we get the pussy pump from?
Yeah.
Right. So
I got many calls last week about that.
Right.
Calling me, diverting. They said, and then they said, "Oh, I watched the show and I just wanted to know about," and they want me to explain it again. But do you know that would have gone up in sales because of this show?
Yeah. So guys, this is about us being open, and the conversation that I really wanted us to have is something that Fidel highlighted, is the fact that men do not feel as comfortable with all of these. It's not just this, but all of these toys. Men don't feel as comfortable discussing it like we do with our vibrators and our rabbits and all the dildos and all that. You don't. You like to see, in most case scenarios, you like to see nice lingerie, blah, 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 blah. You don't really want to discuss your toys. And that's what we wanted. This is why we want to open up the conversation so that men can feel just as comfortable in their own skin with the toys that they want to use. That's it. That's the purpose of the show. It's about conversation. It really is. So, guys, hey. So, any of you are willing to give it a try? Everyone's like, no. But there was the only one smiling. Anyone ready to give it a go?
But it is amazing how this conversation's gone. I think what I'm getting is that men really need to explore more on their sexuality and their feelings and thoughts about sex. And I can't see some of the comments, but some of the ones that you read, it's like they prefer the woman and the real deal. But then I asked the question, why are there so many single women out there?
Right.
You know, you say you want the real deal, but a lot of people are single for many different reasons. And I think I kind of hearing in the comments, this week have been very negative, and I'm not talking about that last one. I'm just talking about in general. It's not been as positive from them. So I still feel like there could be some gaps in learning for us all, including myself, on what do men really want.
There you go, guys. There's a question for you.
I'll happily answer. So all of that stuff is ancillary to me. I don't need any of that. If you bring it, great. But it's not. It doesn't have a single iota of importance in building a relationship with a woman.
But that's
it
not
has nothing.
Question. But that's not the question, Tony. It's not about whether it builds importance.
We're talking about sex.
We're talking about enjoyment. If it's okay for a woman to have a toy, then why is it so pushed down and put aside for a man to want to try a toy for himself?
Is it machoism? Is it that men don't need toys?
But as you're not getting my point. Chastity has already made it clear. Most toys are for both partners. So a vibrator is not exclusive to a man, to a woman. It can be used for the man as well. I quite like a vibrator on the shaft of my penis. Yeah. If I'm inside a woman and she's got the vibrator on her clitoris, guess who's getting an extra sensation? Me.
But hold on, Tony. Hold on. Because you ain't going to go out and buy a vibrator. Well, let me not assume. Are you going to go out and buy a vibrator for yourself?
No.
Right. That's the point. That is the point. So as much as we know that toys are for both, most men are not going to go out and buy a vibrator for himself. He will buy it for his woman, or she will buy it for herself. But we're talking about why can't men feel comfortable to buy themselves a toy if they so want to? And why is it, hold on, and why is it that it's taboo? And you know, you can see by the expressions on your faces, your body language, everything was against it. It said the same thing. So
this
why
is a simple answer, Yvonne. If you come to my house and you wanna have sex and I pull out a toy, your immediate thought is, what woman had that before me?
Yeah. But
that's
then
true.
Why would a man not have a toy? Because a woman's going to think he's got another woman.
That doesn't rest the case, because
that's the straight reason.
Pulling out a toy, that's something that if you're in a relationship, you would go and buy the toy with your partner or gift her that. You're not going to pull it out because there's hygiene risks there.
And
come on,
this is the thing with me and
so
toys.
there goes your reason.
My toys are for me.
So if I have my toy and bringing it in, it's for the man to use the toy on me. He has his own toys, right? And it's in that relationship. Do you think that relationship and you use that same toy on the next man? No, you need to get a whole new set of toys. That's the case.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's how it works. Each person gets their own toys. So you want to really play high and low and whatever. Each person has their own toys.
I'm glad you educated womenkind about that.
Yeah, so
I'm sure a lot of women don't do that.
Men have a bag, right? And I was saying to Yvonne that some men don't want to share about they have a bag of toys. They have to build trust before they even start exploring it, because his bag of toys is for you to use on him.
Bag of toys, you know.
Bag of toys, yeah.
Any of us men got a bag of toys?
Nice.
You
have
a bag of toys?
Can I say something?
No, Theo, go.
I know guys that've got dildos and stuff. I don't know them having toys for themselves. The thing with the toys, most guys want to give the woman pleasure. As I said before, we're gonna have fun no matter what. So more time the sex toys and stuff for guys. The toys that you've shown, apart from the pussy pocket thing, everything else was really, there wasn't, to me anyway, there wasn't nothing sexual about them, apart from the pussy pocket thing. That urethra thing, no way. And what was the other one that you showed? The penis pump. The pump. What would you do with the pump if it's by yourself? There's nothing you're gonna do with the pump if you're by yourself. What, the penis pump to do what? By yourself.
Like some people watch porn, for example.
And then do what after that?
And then
And
you
then
use
and then
pocket.
and then do
When
what
it's
after
up
the.
and plump, you
But
use
then
the pocket and you have a nice time.
I'm saying the only one out of the toys that you've shown that would interest any man is the pocket pussy thing, whatever it's called. I don't know the name of it. The others were just
To you.
nothing really.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's why men wouldn't buy them, because it's like, okay, it's a pussy pocket thing, penis pump. Okay, pump it up.
Yvonne.
And what was the other one? As I said, so that's why guys wouldn't really buy toys, because there's not many
You've
toys
got
for
the
men.
butt plug, you've got the strap on, you've got the.
But why would a man get a strap on? Why would a man use a strap on?
A man will get a strap on for the woman or the other partner, male, to use it on him.
Because
if it's a male and he doesn't need a strap on. A man doesn't need a strap on to strap on with another man.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yes.
If you, Ruth,
If you got two men, why would a man need a strap on? Where would you put it?
You guys really open up
your
your mind.
imagination. Open up. Look, we're not.
I'm trying to write. So walk me through this, please. So you got two men, yeah? You got two men, and you're gonna buy a strap on to put on where? There's two men.
All right. So say, for example,
I'm just curious, please.
Yeah. So one is using for the actual penetration, and the other one is giving it a good little tap, right?
That makes no sense.
It's not about making sense. It's about what people like for pleasure. Everyone's different. Sometimes
making sense. It's not for you.
No, I'm asking a question.
When some men are having anal sex, the person that's taking the pleasure, his penis is not always hard and erect sometimes. And so, with one being in, the other one can be used to like wake up, wake up, wake up.
You have to open up your mind.
Yeah.
And maybe this is right.
I'm not saying.
Fidel, come in, Fidel.
Please help us, Fidel, because I don't get it.
Please, Fidel, help me.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know about that last bit, to be fair. But I think, in all honesty, the real there's a couple of issues, and they're cultural, they're of our time as well. I think we've kind of grown up where male sex toys, what you see are the blow up dolls and stuff like that, and there's this whole seedy kind of concept that comes with it, which has kind of put us off. Plus we're years behind, so the Fleshlight thing it's a relatively new thing to the market recently. Whereas vibrators and stuff like that have been around for our whole generation. And so the male end of the market has always been towards that real kinky end, and it's a little bit more out there. So as yet, we haven't even caught up. Like I said, out of all of the toys you've shown, really, the thing that I've got here is probably the most user-friendly, isn't it? Or the most kind of like makes the most sense. And that's for solo play, really. So stuff that we can use together in the bedroom, more the little rabbit cock ring thing. When you first pulled it out, I was like, I'd definitely give that a go. I haven't used one. I have used cock rings before, but I haven't used that one. I've used vibrating ones. But I would have given that a go, but Theo wasn't impressed when he had a go, and you lot just really put me off it.
I think just
Herbie, come in, Herbie.
Hold on, Tony.
But really, these toys they're not that appealing, and there's like I said, the most of them are around anal play, and if you're not up for that, if that's not comfortable for you, then that doesn't leave very much. So we haven't actually got a vast array for us to choose from. There isn't really that. I've got to agree with Theo. There's nothing that's that exciting unless you're at that further end of the kink spectrum and you're ready to put things down your urethra.
And that's actually very true, Fidel, I have to say. But just to correct you on that Fleshlight, it's not just for solo play, because when you look at the reviews, there's a lot of women that are using it with their partner. Right?
No. I mean, when I asked them, they are, it is bought in, but it's mainly designed for solo play because it's a replicant thing, isn't it?
But
Yeah.
again, what you've said is very true, that there is less toys for men than there are for women. There's an array of sex toys for women, more than what there are for men. And that I believe is because there's the closeness of mind for men. Men don't feel like they need that. And from the conversations that we're having this evening, it just
So
really,
from a psychological point of view, there's ego at play, right? You know, there's why do I need any of that stuff? So we've got there's a lot of machismo at play here, and like I said, there's a lot of other stuff going on. But I'd say ego, and why do we want that? Why do we need that? There is a lot of that attitude, but I think that would change. As you can see, guys like the three of us that are on this show, four of us that are on this show, we're quite open-minded guys, and I think actually if there were more interesting toys that were more user friendly, I think more of us would have a go at it. So I think it's a market that's ready to be opened up, really.
Absolutely. There was a doll.
I'll give you a good market.
Hold on, Tony. There was a doll that was I contemplated ordering to bring on the show, but I just thought better of it, because it's a Fleshlight human-like doll for men to, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm not going to do that.
I've seen those dolls, Yvonne. They are amazing. They look absolutely phenomenal, and yet you can get them to look like anybody now. That they literally have the ability to morph a doll. If you say to them, I want Rihanna with a 36 double F cup chest and a really tight vagina and everything up the back as well, they'll make it for you. I've seen that stuff looks phenomenal, and I can understand if the men have got the money, why they would invest in such a thing, especially if you think you're never going to get a woman. I mean, imagine you're a woman, you turn up at a fella's house, and he brings Rihanna out the cupboard. I'm like, jeez, hang on a second. This is where this whole mentality thing comes into play. It's all very well just bringing out a toy like a vibrator, because you know you can both play with it. But when a man comes out and pulls out his doll that looks like Rihanna, has got 36 double F cup chest, and has got a beautiful pussy, yeah, and you're next to him, you're gonna be like, sorry, but that ain't what I signed up for. I bet 99% of women would feel inferior, because the breasts on them dolls, they don't sag. They're perfectly.
How do you know?
The nipples and everything.
Yeah, I've seen them, but you know a lot about it, Tony. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, it's the same. I know a lot of guys that are intimidated when women bring their massive 10-inch, 12-inch dildos out the cupboard as well.
How many don't want that in the bedroom at all? But there was a comment that says most black men don't need. Where is it? It's coming up. Most black men don't need all those things. They are very creative with their head, hands, shoulders, knees, and toes.
And elbows. Don't forget the elbow.
And the elbow. Do we agree with that, ladies?
I don't agree with that. I think a lot of black men are very close-minded to things, and they're quite draconian when it comes to sex. In my experience, I have to say, in my experience, I'm not going to generalize. I just say, in my experience, I think they're kind of just vanilla with it.
Thank you for that. Karen, do you agree with that statement?
I think that the reason why women actually have more AIDS, as Kellyanne would say, is because there's erectile dysfunction, there's 2 pumps and a squirt, sometimes you need a little bit of an extra fill in, and that's why there's such a big market for it. So it's not just about, what he can do if he's all good and well. It's also about what he can't do, and we do need to have very specific stimulation, which may.
You're gonna mute. You've muted yourself.
Sorry, if so many men are getting along well with Miss Palmer and her sisters, then you know, they don't think that they need any extra help. But some women need to have things to put in places, and they just don't want to use cucumbers and carrots. So that's why there's such a big market for things to help us out.
Okay, thank you, Karen, for that. I'm coming to Michelle. Michelle, do you think that statement, in terms of, and I'm going to use it broadly because you are a married woman, but you have friends who are female, and we as females talk. The comment was, most black men don't need these things. They are very creative with their head, hands, shoulders, knees, and toes. Do you agree?
I think it's I think it's some men. You know, yes, I have had friends talk to me and things like that. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think each to their own, really. You know, everybody's experience is different. As I don't have anything really. I just have. I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what he says. But yeah,
I'm the living toy.
You're the living toy. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you know, each to their own. I think I would probably consider certain things, but I'm kind of okay. I'm open-minded, but I'm okay at the moment. So, yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Hey.
Okay, Ruth. Thank you, Michelle. Ruth, that comment.
Sorry, can I make a quick comment?
No, Ruth is coming in. Wait a minute.
I can't answer it anyway because I haven't been with a black person for a very long time.
But you have been with a black man
I
before.
have, and I'm no longer with them. I no longer engage in sexual activities.
Okay. Can I ask you why?
Boring. It's not my palate. You know, when you're rolling your eyes and can't wait for it to be over, that's just not what it's about. In fact, it was after being on my own is when I was able to have more sensations. It's sad, but it's the truth.
Thank you for your honesty.
Can I come in?
You can come in now, Tony. You can.
Thank you. So in relation to this vanilla black man, I really don't get this because, as I mentioned before on the show, there's a whole section of BBC. Yeah, there is so much non-vanilla big black cock. Yeah, that there's a whole movement. Yeah, there's literally some there are some people who will go with nothing else. That's why you have the statement, once black, don't turn back. That statement is based on the fact that there are some women who, when they go with a white person or non-black person, and then they compare it to what they get with a black man, they go, rah, I've reached the promised land. There's no need for me to go anywhere else. So I don't really understand that. Because if you go on Pornhub, yeah, and porn is a big part of a man's pleasure, yeah? You go on Pornhub, you'll see everything. Every single kind of sex is covered. But the one thing you won't see is big white cock, big Chinese cock, big Indian cock. You will see big black cock. It's a whole section on its own. And I'm not saying that only black men have got big cocks, but we have this reputation that we are.
Tony, can I say, do you know
having a
what I say? You must have a bit of black in him.
Yeah,
I do say.
I'm sorry, having a big black. Sorry, go on, Ruth. Go on.
No,
Ruth.
I'm saying, like, sometimes when I've come across some European men, and I'm talking like, you know, Europe, Spain, Italy, I don't know, Sweden, whatever, and they have well endowed, I say, you must have some black in you. Like, I asked the question. It must, because I thought, oh, wow, because I've had many a surprise, many a delicious surprise out of my own race. And God, how many years? 15 years. I haven't been back yet, but I may never return. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I think
big
that
black doesn't mean anything. I'm
doesn't
sorry.
mean
You can have it, but you don't know how to. You don't know how to please a woman. The cock is not the only thing that pleases a woman. I'm sorry. You have to be intellectually
Come on.
there to please me from the beginning. So your cock is, it doesn't matter the size of the cock. Yes, of course, because that's what
Babe,
draws me in.
a university degree don't make good sex.
No, I'm not saying that you have to have a university degree. I
Donald Trump is very intellectual.
Listen,
clever.
I don't have
a university degree.
Guys, time out. One of the things from we started this show, we're probably on episode 30 now, right? 29, 30. But from the beginning of this show, one of the things that has stood out is the fact that men, especially Tony, I'm going to pull you out, Tony, you don't listen. You're not listening. When women are talking, listen. As when you are talking as men, you want women to listen. The only way we will grow, the only way that we will know is if we listen. And the women are telling you something. You cannot tell a woman how she feels or how the cock is for her. You can.
I never said that.
Hold on,
I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth.
I haven't finished. You are talking about you have
put words in my mouth, though.
Tony, I am talking. Right? I am talking. So you've been going on and you're saying this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, what the women are saying, you're saying big black cock, big black. But actually, big black cock don't mean nothing if you cannot use it and stimulate and tantalize and make that woman feel like she's on top of the world. It don't make a difference how big it is and how long you can last, because that connection isn't there. You need to listen when we are talking the same way how you want us to listen when you are talking about your experiences. We will not learn if we don't listen to each other. And that's all I'm saying. And it's, again, we're 29 episodes in and it's the same thing. We have to learn to listen to each other. Otherwise,
but I never said how you feel. I never said how you feel.
You said,
I never once said
what
you
you
feel
said
anyway.
was, what you said was all about the big black cock. You can't understand it. You don't understand, and how women, you know, it's black men and this and black. Look, we are saying there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women, and 4 out of the 5 women are saying the same thing. So there must be something in it. It's not just about the big black cock, Tony. It's not. It's more than that. And that's the big black cock is not getting women. Many women are actually running from that.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
It's not
satisfying. It's a lie. It's not a lie. It's not a lie, Tony. It's not a lie.
It's not a lie.
It's not a lie.
It's a lie.
We're not even having sex out here. We're not even having sex out here.
You're big black cock, but leave every other person's big black cock out of it and let each big black cock speak for himself on what it is, because some of them are struggling with that same idea. Oh, I've got a big cock, but it don't work right. You know, they don't want to take things. We were talking about stone or whatever, not have you. All doing this for what? It just seems madness, absolute madness, impaling people, and nothing is raining. No one, it's not raining. You've done all that, got your umbrella out, and there's no rain. Make it rain.
Orgasm, yes.
Make it rain. Make it rain. Because if you're gonna
make it rain. Ain't about the big black for real. Make it rain. Sorry.
It would be interesting to know who's running towards. It would be interesting to know who's. It would be interesting to know who's running towards the BBC. Who's the one that making big black cocks so popular? Because I don't think it's us. I don't think it's people that look like me that is making.
Who are they with?
BBC
Sorry, they ain't with us.
No,
they ain't with us. Okay.
It's not us. It's all what Daddy say you can't get, and that's why you feel better.
The forbidden fruit.
Okay, guys, right. So, yes. So this debate. Thank you very much. Listen, as you can hear, we are back in this situation again. Guys, we need to listen to each other. What we have to say, what you have to say, what your partner has to say is important. Every person has a valid opinion. Now, Tony said what he said, and I'm not gunning for Tony. I just want to make that clear. What I am saying is that his perception is not straight. It's not how it is for us. For me as a woman, the big black clock don't do nothing for me. If it's just doing this, it's a waste of my time and my energy. I don't want that. And I don't think any woman listening to this show right now, I don't think any woman would disagree with what I've said. At the end of the day, men, it's up to you to learn how to use your tools.
Okay.
Hold on. Women, it's up to you to learn how to use what you have too. It's up to each one of us to get to know our bodies. I've been saying this from the beginning. It's your responsibility to know about your body. It's my responsibility to know about mine. And if I'm saying to you, that doesn't work for me, then you're going to have to listen to what I'm saying. If you're saying that it doesn't work for you, I'm going to have to listen and adjust so that it's more pleasurable to you. Otherwise, there's no point in us coming together to have sex in the first place.
So can I just quickly just say, last week you came on my show on a Wednesday with a bunch of more women than you have in your panel today. And the question was asked of the women and the men, would you go with a man from another color? And most of the women said, nah, not interested.
From this panel, they didn't.
Yeah, but that's from a cultural aspect. That's not from a sexual aspect. That was a different conversation.
That was a completely
different conversation.
And it was from a different perspective as well.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not. It's cultural.
No, it's not. It's not about the BBC.
So you just said that
you guys never mentioned once in that talk that we had. The Big Black Cock was not a part of that conversation.
No, but black men was part of that conversation,
conversation. It wasn't about that, Tony. It was deep. It wasn't about that. We are talking about the big. You brought up Big Black Cock. We're talking about, and we don't value it like you value it. It's not a value to us because we want more than that. I'm just saying. Okay, so Fidel, I'm gonna bring you back because I see. What's your thoughts, Fidel? You're mute. You're mute.
You're on mute.
I've spoken to a lot of black men, a lot of black women, a lot of white women, especially like when I was involved in sex work and stuff like that myself. The big black cock is just it's a massive, almost insulting, kinky fantasy from a lot of white women, in my experience. That's who's searching for it on YouTube, and it harks back to forbidden fruit and slavery and all that kind of shit. In my experience, my research, that's what I found anyway. It's very little to do with black women, and more the reason why it's such a popular search on Pornhub and things like that is white women and this kind of like forbidden aspect to it, and this stuff that they don't know and don't understand. So I'm not sure where it fits in with this conversation, if I'm honest. I think in general, and I don't think it's even a black man thing, I think in general men think differently about sex than women, certainly in modern times, and as a group. Not all of us, and we're catching up. But I think, in general, we're a couple of steps behind, realizing because we see and think about it differently.
Thank you for your input. Do you know what, guys? We're actually out of time. We've actually gone over time this week, and I think it's because of the nature of the conversation. But I've actually really enjoyed the conversation tonight because we're touching on things that are really real, what we're really passionate about. And so I just want to thank the panel, and I just want to say, guys, I'll see you again. Normally I would go through the panel, what was your learnings, what was your takeaway from tonight, but we've actually gone over the show. I want to thank Ruth, for being here tonight. Thank you so much. You've contributed so much to the show. Really appreciate what you brought to the show. Panel, Facebook, YouTube, all of you guys, I want to thank you for joining us. We will be back next week, Tuesday, because I'll be back here again this week. We'll be back on Tuesday for another After Dark show. We're going to be looking at some lingerie next week, and so it's going to be a lovely, lovely, lovely show. So women and men, I think it's going to be a show that you're all going to enjoy. So do join us here again next Tuesday between the hours of 10 and 12 a.m. for After Dark show. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Everyone say bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 You ready? You got me running, you got me running, you got me running, you got me running, got me running.